Hey everybody, I'm Aram Salegian, joined by Fred J. Robledo. This is the preview and prediction for West Covina hosting St. Francis, Freddie. West Covina's already played a game. A loss last week to Colony. St. Francis, the #1 ranked team in the Star News area, has not played yet. They had a scrimmage last week up towards the Santa Clarita way. I can't remember who it was. I think Valencia maybe, I don't know. Nonetheless, here we go, Freddie. West Covina starts the season 0-1. It's kind of the typical story that we've seen the last couple of years. They're playing tough teams. They're playing up. They're hanging for a while in these games.
Yeah.
Then things are kind of falling apart in the fourth quarter. That was the case last week against what everybody says is a fantastic Colony.
What was the final score in that game, Aaron?
44-21 is something like that. I'll get it for you right
bad.
now.
Yeah, they were down 14-0 pretty quick, and by halftime had tied the score up. I think it was 14-14.
It was the fourth quarter that gave them trouble.
It was late third quarter, all of fourth quarter, everything just kind of fell apart. I had a guy texting me at the game saying that, Colony is really, really legit, that West Covina is pretty fortunate, I think, to have tied that game.
That is the word. Colony is supposed to be legit.
Yeah, beginning as long as they were. And this is what West Covina has done.
It was 49-14.
Yeah.
So.
No.
But I think it was 21-14-ish at one point in the second half.
But this is what West Covina has done. Now look, Colony isn't Loyola or some of these teams, modern day even, that West Covina has scheduled in the past. But these are the kind of things that Majori likes to do. He likes to schedule games against teams earlier in the season that are going to challenge him, that are probably better than him. This week, we're doing the 2-minute drill on St. Francis, the game Aaron's going to be at. Another big test. I think it kind of levels out for West Covina after this. Then the South Hills game, which they're going to win, is there. Sure game, they're going to win, is there. And then you have that Glendora game.
Awesome.
Probably at this point it's a toss-up.
But Freddie, at what cost though? That's the problem. I mean, if you remember last year, maybe it was a fluke, maybe it wasn't. Their stud running back Henry Martinez literally hurts his knee and is out for the season. I think in the first quarter of the first game. And they had Kevin Thomas, the kid that's now at Northview, able to come in. Martinez is back now. But they always seem to have some bad injury come out of these things, and and not the best of records, and it didn't really pay off later in the season last year. I just wonder at what cost. Maybe they could bring it down a little bit. Bringing St. Francis in isn't really bringing it down a little bit, but again, St. Francis and West Covina last year was another one of those games where West Covina thought, hey, a break here, a break there, if this happened or that happened, we win that game. It was 36-24 St. Francis. I don't know if St. Francis is better than what they were last year. I don't know if they're worse. I think they might be better. But I also don't know the same thing about West Covina. And do they get a big edge because they've actually played a game already?
I don't think it really matters. I think St. Francis, Jim Bonds is going to have them ready. There's a next level team to me. I mean, I think this is a pretty good step up in class for West Covina, I think they schedule these games. Majori's had great teams. He's won 3 CIF championships. He did it with teams that were really good. I mean, there was a time it didn't matter who they threw in the backfield. That guy was going to go for 150, 200 yards. They're not there anymore. That program has really, come back a little bit. I don't know if that's just lack of talent in the area, because they are a school. At West Covina at one point, they were getting all the talent in West Covina.
It's a nice talent pool.
People from Northview, Covina, who were thinking football, those areas, would go into West Covina.
South Hills.
I mentioned South Hills. I don't know if that's happening as much anymore. I think they're really playing with the kids that are supposed to go to that school. And I think you're starting to see...
But that's good enough, right? To have a really good team.
But they
have a nice talent.
They do, but I think it's starting to level off a little bit. They're not where they were. They've struggled to get back to that level. They missed the playoffs last year, which is something that has been forever.
That's a tough league, the Hacienda, man.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to need a few more weeks until they play the South Hills or until they play Sherman.
Are you giving them any shot in this game?
I know. I don't think they have a shot in this
You don't
game.
think this will be one of those tough beat stories like, oh man, Fred, you saw it, we had a chance?
I think what you saw last week with Colony is what you're going to see this week.
A pull away by St. Francis?
Yeah, but it may be St. Francis gets to them early and they're never in the game. I'm thinking that's more likely to happen. I got St. Francis, and I got them winning big in this game. I've watched St. Francis too much over the years. You've seen what they've done the last few years. They're a Division II, III legitimate team. I don't think West Covina
Sure.
is at that level right
St.
now.
Francis was in the semifinals last year of the Southeast
They
Division and
reload
lost
pretty
to
easily,
Lucerne.
yeah.
It's not impossible for West Covina to beat St. Francis. I'm sorry, but it's not. Here's the thing, though. West Covina's
Very
had
improbable.
a
That's
tough
always
time,
impossible.
though. West Covina's had a tough time stopping pass attacks, i.e. Charter Oak, in their league. They've had that
Good luck
tough time.
against, Little
So now
Bonds.
you're going to get, Michael Bonds making his debut, and everyone wants to see what this kid can do. Does he have the receivers? West Covina has a kid that they think is going to play on Saturdays in the Pac-12 next year, and B.J. Ubani, the cornerback. They're going to stick him on St. Francis' best receiver and see what happens. This is a test for St. Francis, Fred.
They'll be able to play around that.
I think this is going to be a decent game.
I don't.
I'm going to pick St. Francis. I do think it's going to be a decent game.
I've got St. Francis by 3 touchdowns or more.
Okay. Well, if it is 3 touchdowns or more, it's probably because, like last week, things melted down in the fourth quarter.
And I'm getting this right.
And you won't be at the game, and no one will have to give you heat, but I'll be there. Okay, yeah. So
Congratulations about my prediction.
we both have St. Francis. Yeah, exactly. We both have St. Francis by differing margins. I still think West Covina could make this very, very interesting with that week 2 / we've played game 2 improvement. Get out there. This is at West Covina Thyberg Field. Going to be a good crowd, good situation. Top-ranked team in the Star News area against Eastern SGV Power West Covina. We will be there.